Hello, Marina, and welcome.
Hi.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
so nice
Christy.
to chat to you today, and welcome everyone who is listening and watching, of course. So Marina, by the way, she is a career consultant and a talent profiler, and I'm very excited to speak to her about how to stop settling and really start creating a meaningful career. So we're both very passionate about this topic, so I think we're both really excited to dive in. But Marina, I thought maybe you can just introduce yourself to my audience, who you are, what you do.
Sure. Hi, Christy again. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our conversation. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks a lot for inviting me because, as you said, this topic is probably the core and the most passionate for me in my work. And this is something that I came to through personal experience, a lot of thinking, a lot of changes in my own career. And I became a coach to help other people to navigate questions like this because it can be really hard. Our economic situation, our environment, they all add extra layers of thinking. How do I approach my personal life, my fulfillment and satisfaction? And I hope that with my work, with your work, and other fellow coaches, consultants, we can help make everyone's life a little bit better together.
And I thought I'll introduce myself a little bit to your audience. Yeah, so I'm Christy, career coach. I've been coaching for the past 4 years now, and yeah, I help women who feel really stuck in their career find meaningful and fulfilling careers. And shockingly enough, it has been also a lot of women who've experienced a burnout that actually wasn't really like the plan or anything, but just it just seemed to be, and it really like was kind of shocking and worrying to me how many women are suffering with this. And also in some countries, like for example, I'm now in South Africa, it's kind of not accepted by society. It's just like toughen up, just carry on doing with what you have to do. And it is quite sad because it really is bringing people down. And yeah, that's why I love doing these type of things, to share the message and also to share like, listen, if you feel like you're really not in the right place, please do yourself a favor and make a change.
Yeah. Is it also right that you have a past in recruitment as well? So you kind of have this lens as well. So on the side of the opposite, from the employees, you also see like the employer side of that, and you can also see that, yeah, unfulfilled, unsatisfied, burnout workforce. It's also damaging the company. It's damaging the society at large as well. So by staying in an unfulfilling place, no one is going to benefit from that. Not you, not your employer, not the society, not your family, not your children, not your future, not your health, pretty much nothing, right?
Yeah, and but unfortunately, I do have experience a lot of clients who do have toxic managers, and that managers that don't really also, in more male dominant. I don't want to be very discriminating or anything, but sometimes they do feel like they're not really being understood because they, especially when they become new moms and things, that their stress levels and all these things, they just don't feel seen, heard, or understood, and that's a lot of times the reason why they end up, leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
makes
my
sense.
first question to you, because I of course prepared some questions that I wanted to ask you, what is in your idea, and also maybe what you see with your clients, why so many people, women, stay stuck in unfulfilling jobs, even when they know that something, is just not right, it's not working? Why do they stay?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question, and it's actually very philosophical in nature as well. So obviously, the first level of answers, it's all about the circumstances, the personal circumstances of the person. The person is afraid of change. The person is afraid to do something that they're not familiar with, not comfortable with. So it's all about being stuck in the comfort zone largely, right? And another part is that the person is not sure if they can handle learning a new field completely from scratch, because we see that right now the job market is very dynamic, is extremely dynamic. New jobs popping up every couple months, and now with the AI on the playing field, it's becoming even more complicated for some people to catch on. So people are afraid that they just simply cannot do. well in the new career line, which is of course not true if you look at it objectively, but that's an emotional fear that a lot of people experience. But the philosophical part of the answer to this question, why do people stay in unfulfilling careers even when they know that it's damaging them, is very simple. I'm a practical person. And in practice, it's just because the person is not suffering enough yet. And
Mm.
this is a very interesting balance that we can see when the person is experiencing a lot of pain, emotional, mental, physical, like maybe they have abusive manager or the team is not right or whatever reasons, but it's not bad enough to leave. It's just, it's bad up to the point where it's still tolerable. And maybe the amount of money that they receive, it's kind of balancing it out in their mind. So it's all about this equilibrium that as long as the person suffers way too much for the pay that they get, I feel this is when they're ready to make a change despite of the circumstances. So that's what I found quite often with my clients. It was similar in my own career. But I do not have a sample of especially women. Like I would not say that this is more true to women versus men. So what would it be in your experience since you're working more with women who experience burnout?
That a lot of women normalize feeling stuck. It's normal
Hmm.
to not really enjoy your job. It's normal to not have something that you're really passionate about. I hear this quite a lot, and that you should be grateful in these days to even have a job. And then there's a lot of fears. So, really, fears of making that wrong choice, of being judged, of losing stability. So, a lot of time the pain, like just like you said, is not strong enough. As soon as that pain really outweighs the fear of change, then that's when they will um, decide to make a change. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, my job is a 6, out of a 10. It's okay, it's not that bad. Or it's just seasons, sometimes I really hate it, but then other times it's okay. So um, yeah.
Yeah, or something like, I really hate my job, but the team is so nice. I love my manager or I love my teammates. I hate what I do, but at least I do it in a great company of people, right? So that also is like a big hook that keeps people there sometimes.
And they feel very bad towards their manager because they've done so much for them to leave them, and they're also scared that what if I don't find that same type of colleagues,
Hmm.
at the other job. And what I say, well, the one thing that you can know for sure is that colleagues are going to come and go. Your work is going to stay pretty much the same, but you can't stay somewhere just because of the nice colleagues, because what if they leave, then what? And what makes you think that you're not going to find those fun colleagues somewhere else in another company? What
Yeah,
do you
definitely.
why people what keeps people from rediscovering what they truly want in their career? Why are they not finding this? What's stopping them?
Yeah, I actually think that my opinion aligns with what you just said, and that's also my experience. People don't even think that they should love their career. That's not at all important. That's not on the table. A lot of people think that a career and a job is a necessary evil, and you just have to accept the fact that you have to suffer because you have to earn money, because you have to pay bills. And a lot
Mm,
of people stay where they are just because they have this mechanism figured out for a time being, and they do not think that they deserve better. A lot of people really think that they have to be grateful where they are because a lot of other people don't have even what they have, and they're keeping themselves stuck there because they don't feel that career and job can be fun, can be interesting, can be entertaining, can be stimulating and motivating and actually exciting. Like it's been very long time since I met a corporate person who would say, I just love my job. I love going to the office. I love my job. I love what I'm doing. Everything is flowing. It's so awesome. And I have plans for the future. It's very rare I hear that people actually have plans for their future in their career line. At best, the plan is to land a better paying job, you know? So that's what I experienced. What about you?
yeah, that people really just very much focus on what is expected of them by society, by their parents, by their friends. They want to be liked, accepted, and fit in, and they do everything for the outside world. So, they're very focused on that title, on that salary raise, whatever looks good on paper. All the external markers. Meanwhile, inside, they feel miserable, they feel disappointed, they are low on energy, but the outside picture looks really good. And it's interesting because
Yeah,
I'm
and
speaking to a lot of people. Actually, this weekend I was speaking to a hypnotherapist, and she was telling me a bit about her clients. And for example, she was like, it's actually shocking how many, for example, lawyers and people with really like high paying jobs, they're really well known, that they come to her saying, I've got all this, but I'm so miserable inside. It's just 'cause they're out of alignment. They're not doing what they should be doing.
yeah, and then reading LinkedIn, I feel sometimes it's not motivating. It's actually quite the opposite. It's depressive because there is so much content out there where people exaggerate their successes. And then when regular people read all of that, they can't relate to that and they feel so left outside and actually left behind that they are not really fulfilling their own dreams, that they're wasting their life. There's so much potential in them that is missed, and they don't feel like they will ever have enough energy or time to make up for the loss that they're already experiencing, right? And it already is becoming like, okay, I wasted it anyway, so why change anything? Like, I don't believe anything can be changed for me anymore. Like, I'm too old to make this change. And I hear it from people who are not even 40. I'm too old to make a change. This is really sad to hear that people give up on themselves so early in their life. I think it's too late to change your career when you're on pension because you don't have a career anymore. Like then you don't really have to bother if you don't want it anymore, right? But there is never too late to make a meaningful change in your life because it's your life and you deserve to live a happy and fulfilled life on your terms. Of course, there is a question also, what do we define successful and happy? That's a different one. But everyone can decide that for themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've also got so many stories. So also from personal stories from clients, who made career changes later on in life. For example, I have one client, went from marketing, now she's an interior designer. I have another client who was a project engineer, and she now has her own studio in Pilates. She's not teaching Pilates, like completely different. um but you also have like examples of famous people. I mean, there's so many, like Colonel Sanders. He was from KFC. I think he was like in his 70s when he became successful. So I'm also actually recording a podcast next week with Jenny. She has the Career Flipper podcast, maybe also interesting for you. And she interviews all sorts of people from all sorts of ages, from all sorts of countries, how they've made a career change later on in life, and it's incredible. And it's so. I also send this to all my clients. Like, listen to this because it's just so inspiring and motivating that it's not true. It's not true. It's a lie that you cannot. That's your own limiting beliefs, your own obstacles that are getting in the way. But you can, in any time, make a change. So, what do you
Yeah, and
feel
I
like?
think actually, yeah, just to add up on the to that
Yes.
one last thought, I think that's the reason why I decided to specialize on talent profiling, because
Mm,
this tool is so helpful for people to overcome these fears and barriers. Because the talent profiling, that's what it gave me. It told me very specifically what I'm good at and what I will always succeed at because I naturally have those skills. No one will ever be able to take them away from me because I was born with this skill. So no matter which career I choose within this line, I will always be able to grow and become successful. Of course, it's not given that I will be successful there, right? Even the talent has to be nurtured, has to be developed. But at least I knew that there is some sort of guarantee, and it took away a lot of fear from me personally. And I would really advise everyone who has this kind of fear and they believe that it's not possible for them, that they're very afraid and stuck, try to take any kind of talent profiling, whatever is available to you. You can also do a lot online. There's a lot of free services. There are also analytical services online you can take. This will already be like the first step towards a change because of course, when we look at those stories, like, yeah, a person worked in as an engineer, now they do Pilates. It's a crazy change. And it seems like a person took such a gamble. Like, I mean, it is so far apart from each other, but the fact that the person is succeeding and actually feeling fulfilled and happy means that they knew there was something inside of them that told them it's a right choice, right? They felt it. There was something like this inner confidence and belief that, yeah, that's mine. Like, I feel good about that, right?
It's interesting that you say you use the talent profiler because I use the talent scan. So I don't know if it sounds similar. So it's like a online test, and out of it comes like what gives you energy, what drains your energy, what your natural talents. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the idea is always the same. You really should look into more or less objective analysis of who you are. Of course, there's a lot of debate. Some of the systems are not, I mean, none of them are bulletproof, but some of them are more accurate than others. And I don't think you can really rely on only one source of information that will tell you 100% of everything. But bits and pieces is like a puzzle, putting small pieces here and there, it will give you a more fuller picture of who you are as a person, as a personality. And your skills will fall in place and fall in buckets, so then you will be able to use them more strategically. Because of course, when a client comes to me and says, okay, I want to change my career, I don't know where to start, I would never tell a person, oh, just follow your intuition. It would be nice, but not everyone's intuition is, first of all, developed. Second, not everyone would dare to listen to their intuition at first. At first you need to take small baby steps, and I'm all about this, making this small incremental changes. Like, I almost never advise people cold turkey approach. Like, okay, you hate your career, you quit the job, and then from Monday you start something completely different. You were passionate about painting, just go take a painting course and sign up for a painting class. It's it's a challenging task to succeed in something right from the get-go, but small little steps and informed steps, I feel they have more potential to help people.
Do you have any practical ways someone can start figuring out what kind of work suits them?
Mm-hmm. It's a very, very good question. So, in the profiling that I do, we pay a lot of attention to person's childhood. And there is a reason for that, because a child is like a clean slate. You do not have all of this layers of mental clutter in your head yet. And children naturally display their abilities and talents spontaneously. Therefore, I always advise a person to start from their childhood. What did you enjoy doing as a kid? Preferably like between 5 and 10. If you can remember, if you can ask your relatives if there are any photos or videos or like any sort of evidence, what did you naturally tend to do? Some kids are more extroverted, some kids are more introverted. And the earlier age you take, the more it's authentic, coming authentically. So that's one exercise that I advise people to do. And then another one is very simple. So all of our profiles can be put in three buckets or described from sort of like three core specializations. So you're either a creator, a communicator, or a manager. Creator is the person who wants to create something. So they have an idea or a feeling and they want to kind of somehow materialize it in the world, right? Communicators, these are people who connect others. So these are people who do not create anything, but they rather like transferring. So transferring information, for example. This could be networkers, all sorts of people like this, journalists, public speakers. And the last category, these are managers. So these people who are very good at resource management. And resources can be, of course, people, it can be monetary resources, physical, immaterial, whatever. So looking at what speaks to you the most. You want to create something, you want to connect other people, or you rather feel you could be good at managing resources that you have and allocating them. So I think this is a good start for people to look at what possible career change they can make. And that's what I use personally. And I would be curious actually to know, what do you use with your clients? Like, how would you advise them to start when they just come to you?
Yes, I use the talent scan, which is quite similar to what you do. And then we do lots of, we work with a book, different worksheets, visualizations, meditations. And also, one thing is like sort of a regression and looking at your past, also seeing what happened in your past and how this is shaping you right now. And then also just something very simple, like keep a diary or like a journal of what is really giving you energy and draining energy, and also go back to all your previous jobs. What did you really hate about the previous jobs, and what did you really like about them, to get like clues of what it is that you're good at. But I think it's just so many different things that we do, and that all together, it's like a recipe, and you're stirring in a pot and then you get to the answers. And also be aware that it's not something that you can do overnight. That's why some people ask me, can I do one coaching session? And I say no, that's not gonna, like, a few tips is not gonna get you anywhere. You really need to do the different steps, and also have the time in between to reflect, to think about the things, in order to get to the answers of what you're really passionate about. And then
Absolutely.
eventually you can start really working and tuning into your intuition and stuff, because it is part of the whole process. It is a step, but if you're just going to say, okay, I'm just going to start doing that, then it's going to be very difficult. I think you need the different types of ingredients. And what do you think self-awareness and personal values play in finding meaningful work?
Hmm. Yeah, I also really like that question because it's very, very, very deep. But we start from the very core of the question. So, meaningful career. What is the meaning of the word meaning? The meaning is personal to you. What meaning do
Mm,
you assign to your career? What is a meaningful career to you? Because for some people, meaningful career is the one that where they are able to help other people, where they're able to impact society or a group of
mm,
people. For other people, meaningful career is the one that gives them personal satisfaction from their own successes, from their own growth, right? So first start with understanding what is a meaningful career for you. Which definition do you subscribe to? Loosely, okay, like more or less, right? And then, of course, personal values, all your personal motivations, everything that is personal to you should be part of that recipe, should be part of that definition. So if your value is helping other people, then your career should be linked to helping other people, and that's what would make it meaningful. But if your career is I don't know, if you want to help people, but your career is about increasing the profits of a bank. I mean, you can also tie it maybe somehow to helping society at large, but maybe not directly, and that's what probably would be really hard. So, in case your definition of a meaningful career is really far from what you're doing right now and where your personal values are, then I think you should start trying to bridge the gap, and it will take time. As you said, you cannot do that overnight. You cannot just answer 10 questions in a questionnaire and like, oh, okay, I was a stockbroker, but now I will have to be a farmer or a sourdough bread baker because that's what would make me happy and successful and fulfilled, right? So, yeah, I would say that starting from personal values, personal motivations, it's an essential step, but you need to allow time for this information to unravel naturally. Your brain is like it's a secret keeper. The brain will not tell you everything from the get-go. The brain needs time to relax a little bit, to start giving away these clues, when you're comfortable and relaxed. So it's definitely a process, I would say, from experience in my work.
yeah, I think it's just really important to get to know yourself on a much deeper level. And I think a lot of us don't really know who we truly are, because we've so be conditioned to live up to this certain image, a certain picture, to please everybody else and to fit in, that we've kind of lost ourselves, and we don't really know. And if we not don't even know, what our real values are and what we really stand for, then it's yeah, quite difficult to find the answers. And with my clients, what meaningful, usually a lot of them feel like they are not contribute to anything. They don't see the results. They're like working extremely hard, but they don't really see where that is going. Like, it's not really going anywhere. Also, they're not really getting any promotions anymore. They've just sort of reached the ceiling, and it's just yeah, going through the motions. And they would really like to give more back to society, or see that they are making a change in the world and in other people's lives.
Mhm.
But like
Why do
I
you
said,
think, or actually, the question is, are women more prone to burnout due to these reasons? Like they don't see actually the impact of what they're doing, and that's what makes them burn out eventually because you're just doing so much, you're giving so much, but you're not getting enough in return. At least it's not proportionate to what you feel you're giving out.
Yeah, I think with us, there's so many emotions in play, and we're so badly just want to please others, and we find it difficult to set boundaries, and we're perfectionists. And I feel like a lot of men they don't have these type of things, so it's much. Also, there's all these studies done how if there's a job online, and the men will they're like, oh, I don't have all the qualifications. Oh, well, I'm going to apply anyway. Whereas a woman will really be like with a pen and paper, like. No, no, okay, then I won't apply, kind of thing. So they're much more reserved and
Yeah.
dare to stand up for themselves and speak up for them, like self advocacy, like really stand up for who you are and what you believe in. A lot of women, yeah, they lack confidence. They're in their shell.
Yeah, you think it's cultural as well, like everywhere across the world, that women are rather, at least maybe right now it's slightly different. Okay, the last 10 years it's changing. The girls are more encouraged to be individuals, to stand up for themselves, to be leaders, to be business owners. But I think before, when we were growing up, the girls are encouraged to be nice, to be polite, to be hardworking, to be respectful, to be diligent, to be reliable, all of these kind of beautiful, soft values that are, of course, very, very important and very nice. But I also feel like they became a bit of a straight jacket for us. They cripple a lot of our ambitions and our desire to be authentic because we feel like, yeah, but I have to be reliable and nice, like I have to finish the job. I cannot just go out and enjoy my time with the family. I have to show my boss that I'm committed, all of these things.
And no, I 100% agree with you. And if somebody wants to, leave and make a change, how can they navigate that fear of leaving behind the stability of a job, even though it's draining them? What advice would you give to people who know, okay, it's a time for change, but I have so many fears?
Yeah, so as I already said, that's probably the core of my approach and my philosophy is small incremental steps. And the key word here would be consistent. I feel a lot of people don't see any results because they start something, they do something sporadically, and the result cannot come from few actions here and there. Yeah, you cannot take one coaching session and hope that it will change your life. You need to make consistent small changes, and it has to be really tiny, but it has to be meaningful. For example, if you want to make a career change, you have no idea where to start, have no idea what you could be good at, you're scared, you have no extra money, you have obligations, mortgage, family, kids, whatever. Start with, as we just discussed, identifying your core values, your motivations, what inspires you, what gives you energy, what did you like doing before in your job, what did you like to do at school, in the university, like whatever time in your life that you knew you were doing something close to yourself. Start evaluating yourself and then start making some sort of research online. What jobs are out there? What jobs are available in your region, in your city? What is the pay? How possible for you to transition from your current paycheck to the other? Talk to your partner, reevaluate your family, your household, like just make some small kind of housekeeping accounting steps, and they will give you a lot of visibility of what's actually happening in your life, and you will make a transition plan. One of the latest clients that I had, she had kind of this request. She said, I want to change my life in two big ways. I want to start a family. So she wanted to have a child, but she also wanted to change the job completely. And I said, whoa, these two steps are very big in themselves. And you want to combine two of them. You just basically undermining all your stability. Let's start with one or the other. And over the course of our work, we look at what was a priority, right? What did she agree to lose at the moment? What did she not agree to lose at the moment, right? So everything is very personal, depends on the life stage, on personal preferences. But what will alleviate the fear is small little actions to make you more informed about your situation. That's what I feel. Do you have any kind of like maybe exercise or advice for clients like this.
Yeah, also don't just quit your job overnight, but do research first. So, go look in your network. Go see like existing people that you know already. What are they doing? Anything interesting that you might want to do? And then once you've thought of a few things that you're interested in, go also out and contact the people that are already doing what you want to do, because that's the easiest, right? And ask
Hmm.
them, how did you do it? How did you get the job? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? So also one of my clients, actually that one who became the Pilates instructor. So during the coaching course, she actually thought she wanted to become a vet and study veterinarian sciences. So I told her, okay, we'll go to chat to these people, ask them about their job, and through doing that, also through contacting the universities to see, what kind of she needed to what applications and studies she had to do. She's like, you know what, I actually feel like I don't want to do this. So that's good. That's you through researching and doing, and maybe even doing like an internship or something, you will find out, is this actually something for me? I have a personal example. I Before I became a coach, I had this idea I want to become a beautician, because I knew I didn't want to work in the corporate world, and I knew that I wanted to work with my hands and be more out and about. So I did an internship. I did the whole course. I did an internship, but then during the internship, I realized I miss, like working with my head. I like psychology. I like talking about feelings, and I want to make a change, and I want to know what people makes people tick and all these things. So, but I see it as a stepping stone. Do I regret it? Not at all, because I feel like if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have come to this. So sometimes you need to maybe go in the wrong direction or to get onto the right path again. And that's like absolutely totally fine. I also have a client now. She is thinking about transitioning to the HR department, but she's not sure yet. So she's now going to do like a project for free for them in after or before work on the weekends, whatever, just to see if she would think she would like it. So yeah, start by research, start by networking, start by talking to people to see whether you think it's even something for you before you jump into something
Yeah,
else.
I also I have a personal experience as well like this. At some point in my life, I was so sure I love coffee that I absolutely wanted to learn about coffee on a professional level. So I took a professional barista course and I was 100% sure I want to open my own cafe because I loved cooking, I love desserts, I love the aesthetics of this nice coffee bars, and then all this like exquisite coffee flavors and everything. And I got as well an internship at a cafe because I really wanted to see how it goes. And then when I started working there, I really loved coffee. I love brewing coffee. I love the espresso machines and all of that stuff. But I realized that a lot of work in a cafe is routine and it's scheduled. Everything has to be done in a certain way, very methodically and in a routinous way. Because if you have a recipe for cinnabons, you have to create the recipe all the time in the same way. And what I liked was actually creativity and also, as you said, working with my head, like coming up with new ideas. And I loved communicating with people there, but my communication with clients did not really give them much of an add-on because it was not enough time and it was not the right place really to talk about deep topics, right? So I figured out very quickly that I do not want to own a cafe. I'm okay. I will rather own a barista machine at home and I will just make very, very good coffee for myself and my family. But I do not want that career path. And thinking about this right now, it saved me like this small short experience, isolated, saved me a ton of money because opening up your cafe is extremely expensive. You can imagine how much you would get a loan for, and then going through the process of building it and then finally opening it and marketing and then actually doing it. Yeah, I'm very grateful I took this months of my life to verify that theory. So now I'm very happy that it will be kept as my hobby.
Exactly the same, because I was planning on opening my own beauty salon. So that would have also cost a lot of money. I had already actually bought
Yeah.
like a table, like a massage table. So
Hmm.
yeah, but I mean, it's cool that you at least tried. At least you went out and you tried something, whereas other people, they will just stay stuck in their miserable job, and then one day they will look back on their life and think, what if, what if, and you don't want to have live a life with regrets. I always say life is short. This is not a practice round. This is for real. We have one life. You have one chance. So make the most out of it. Try different things. And even if you fail, like, with maybe the beauty, or I don't really see it as a failure, but, or your coffee bar experience, doesn't matter. At least you learn, you grow from these type of experiences. And how do you
Yeah,
feel?
absolutely. And people, yeah, like the thought that really resonated when you said that is like people who try many times are much more far ahead from those who are just thinking all the time in their head and doing nothing, you know?
So important to take action, 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 and then you'll get to, then through taking action, you actually figure out what it is that you really want to do. And how do you feel aligning with your natural strengths and energy makes a career change more sustainable?
Yeah, of course. That's also very intuitive for me as well because sustainable is something that can be sustained easily or ideally by itself. So when you're leaning into your natural strength, something that comes easy for you, you expend less energy doing that and you gain much more reward from that as well. So it's very sustainable to have a career where you are naturally good and naturally successful at rather than going somewhere where you struggle all the time. And struggle can also come, as we discussed, like it can relate to external factors as well. It's a wrong industry, wrong people around you, wrong impact that you're making, something that is misaligned with you in any way, right? So everything that is aligned with your natural inclination will be much more easy to sustain long term, and obviously to upgrade as well. So I feel this is, yeah, this is very intuitive for me.
I also just wanted to touch up on a very big misconception, and that is that just because you're good at something, it doesn't mean that it suits you and it gives you energy and you should be doing it. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. Because if you've been doing the same thing for many years, you're naturally going to be good at it. And especially when you have your family and your friends and your managers, giving you a tap on the shoulder, you're doing such a good job, well done, you're amazing, you're the best at this, you're going to be like so confused because you're like, huh, but I'm so good at this, but I feel so miserable and I feel so drained. I don't understand what is going on. But that's just because you're a misalignment. It's just not suiting you. It's draining your energy. So don't be fooled by the things that you're really good at.
Or another thing and misconception is that if you are good at something, but at some point you stop feeling motivated, excited about it, that you have to change it necessarily. For me, it's more a sign that you have to upgrade it. You have reached a certain ceiling in one thing. So instead of throwing it out of the window and starting something from scratch, build on top of that. If you were in the career line always very linear and you became a manager, a leader, or whatever, but that's it, like you're not fulfilled in it anymore, it doesn't mean you have to switch to be a Pilates or a barista or a beautician, or it doesn't mean you have to switch anything at all. Maybe you need to take a different type of responsibility within your field. For example, you can become a mentor, a teacher, a consultant. So there are so many ways that you can add innovation in what you're doing that will give you more meaning, as long as it again is aligned with your core values, as long as it's an authentic change, because change just for the sake of change is probably not going to lead you far in long run, and you will get disappointed very quickly as well. So I think your advice about networking in this case is probably one of the really best. If you feel stuck, try to talk to people similar position as you and see what are they doing. Maybe there is something interesting that they add on to the mix that they makes them happy, you know. Research is always great.
100%. So important. And to touch up on this, what you said, maybe staying in the same field, because usually my clients make a career change, but some stay in the same field, exactly like what you're saying now. So I have a client now, she's in marketing, but she wants to be higher up, a more management level, more overseeing. But the problem is she's keeping herself stuck because she finds it difficult to set boundaries, to stop people pleasing, to say no. So what's happening, she's doing all the operational stuff, all the things that she's not even meant to be doing because people are just piling it up on her and they're expecting her to do because she always says yes, and therefore she's not getting that job that she wants. So that's what we are also working on now, to really set boundaries and become the most assertive self so that she can step into that new role. But you actually have to become a new person in order to be able to handle that new responsibility. And I think this
Yeah,
also all
100%.
comes to with my favorite topic, and that's mindset. And that actually brings me to my last question to you. What do you feel like are the mindset shifts that are helpful when taking this first step to a more fulfilling path?
Yeah, I really love the topic of mindset as well. I never really mention it with my clients, but 80% of my work is always work on the mindset of the person. I would say that one of the very, very helpful thoughts to have in your mind is that, first of all, no one cares. On the first surface level, it's very painful to hear, oh, no one cares about you. Oh, but how is that? I need people to love me. I need them to accept me. I want to be with them. If I'm lonely, no one loves me. No one wants me. I want people to care about me. Reality is that you don't really want to people to care about, like, your a big circle of people. You don't want them to care about you. You want them to recognize and appreciate you, and that is the external value. You need to appreciate and value and love yourself first. If you love yourself first, if you approve of yourself, if you validate yourself, you don't need anyone else's approval. And then you will see that other people are not seeking to look at you and compare you to anyone else, which means that people are not actually out there to judge you either. So stop having these dynamics with comparing yourself to others and thinking, do you need their love? You don't need their love. Focus on yourself. They wouldn't care about you. They care about themselves because they're also the same scared, frustrated people who also need to live their own lives. So stop looking outside, look within. And when you do look within, the mindset shift that is really helpful, and it takes time to work on it, but at least that's a goal, is that you are enough. You have everything enough. You have enough goodness in you. You have enough talent. You have enough beauty, enough wisdom, enough intelligence. Everything is enough within you for you to be happy, to make other people happy, people that are meaningful in your life. So stop looking outside, look within, and look and see how beautiful you are inside, how meaningful and passionate you are, and just share it with others. That's it. If every one of us just do kind of thing, if we all implement this mechanism, the world will become a much, much better place for many of us, and we will all become a little bit more happy and nurtured and fulfilled.
Yeah. And that's honestly why I advocate go work with a coach, whether it's a career coach or a mindsets coach or a self-love coach, or you know, and otherwise, if you don't have the finances for that, then start going on the journey of personal development by reading books. There's so many documentaries out there on YouTube. There's so much free stuff, but really go on that journey because it's going to make your life so much easier. You're going to be so much happier in life when you
Yeah.
can when you can when the mind is always trying to trick us and make us believe certain things, and when you are able to look to separate yourself from the thoughts and know that you're not the thoughts, your life does start changing. It will
Yeah,
come.
and I
Yeah, you know the tools, you know what
yeah.
these these thoughts pretty
Yeah,
much.
I read a quote. I can't really remember who said that. It was either Dalai Lama or Buddha, or it's someone like that. And it said that you reach an enlightenment not by adding things, but by subtracting them. So stop taking on more things on yourself. Start releasing things. Start releasing expectations, releasing fears, releasing anxieties, releasing demands, and all of these things that you keep on top of you and they're so heavy. Drop them one by one. Stop trying to be the best. Stop trying to be the smartest, the slimmest, the most beautiful, the youngest, the best, all of these things. Just stop trying to be the best in all of that stuff for a while. I'm not advocating for mediocre life and just sit on a mountain, meditate, and everything is going to be fine. Life is not about that. But if you release a little bit of the pressure, if that steam is already, bubbling and boiling, just release a little bit of that pressure and calm down your nervous system, calm down your body, calm down your emotions. You will start seeing things more clearly, that the change in your life might be much closer than you thought. And now that you have clarity, your vision is much more focused, much more direct. You will see how easily you can navigate the change, how you can make a step, right? But while you're so busy achieving all of these things, you don't have time and focus and energy to do all of that. So calm down, give yourself some rest. That's probably my biggest advice for many of us.
And to also really enjoy the journey, not just be so focused on the destination, because when the destination comes and you've reached your goal, you're like, okay, now what? And then you'll just set a higher, goal on something else. Also just enjoy the journey of learning and experiencing all the things and growing and changing, and see how far you've come. Because a lot of us, we just so focused on the next thing, but a few years ago we wished we were.
Yes, yes, so true.
Right. Thanks so much for today. I really, really enjoyed our talk. And I hope that
Thanks,
everybody
likewise.
watching this enjoyed it. And
I hope, guys, you will reach out to us and give us feedback. And maybe if you have some questions, you can just send us messages. We'll be happy to answer your questions as well, because apart from coaching people, we also are present on LinkedIn quite a lot. And I think both me and Christy will be happy to give a bit more insight and more answers to questions that are a bit more specific. And if you have personal questions, just text us personally in DMs. We'll be
and I
happy to help you
also,
guys.
yeah, I also saw that you have a ebook. I also have an ebook, so if anybody wants to download them, that's also a nice way to kind of get to know one of us on a more subtle level before you jump into a coaching. Or yeah, it's
Yeah.
always nice to just get to know people. Now, I also have a podcast. I don't know. Do you have a podcast as well?
I actually do have a YouTube channel, but I haven't been uploading anything for a little while. So if you guys want to know a bit of my fresh work, I can share my Substack. I just started like this kind of like community blog space where I'm going to be posting a bit more, relevant entries and stuff as well. So everyone is welcome there, and everyone is welcome to just subscribe to LinkedIn page and read the articles and read the post. I got comments that most of the time people get a lot of value from the posts that are written with with good care. And if you do enjoy the post, please give it a like or share it with someone privately. It really helps us a lot to reach many people and to spread the good message and to support people, because sometimes this kind of emotional support is the only thing that a person needs in a day, and that's something that can make a day for someone else. So if you see something that you like, not only from us, but from someone else, give them a thumbs up. It really helps to spread good vibes. Yeah, I hope you all guys have a super, super nice day. I hope you are doing great and going to be doing even better.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.